Improvements number 2. So with these videos, they are going to be less prepared, and the reason for that is I want you guys to see the process as I'm doing it. I haven't like spent hours coming up with some idea that I've refined. It's just like, hey, here's a quick idea, here's how to make it happen. So with that said, this track, this was number 9. I did something interesting with the chords that I would like to share. So I was using an Audien track as a reference to try to get that sort of ethereal, super soft feel. Because with a lot of chords, if you just go for it and make it sound cool, it won't have that like it might almost like stand out a little bit as not very cool, not very exciting. Just chords that are filler. I instead wanted chords that stood out and that were something to pay attention to, not just filled a spectral frequency band. So check this out. In the track, let me play it for you, so you have a little context. So the goal here is going to try to make some chords and use a quick trick, one simple trick to make all of your chord progressions easy as shit. So watch this. First thing that you want to do to make, I guess we'll call this the Audien chords tutorial. Something that I picked up from music theory way back when was that in general, if you stack notes that are pretty down low, it's not going to come out nearly as well as if you stack notes higher up. This isn't too low, but I mean, let's try an octave lower. Even with these 3 notes down here, you're still going to hear the top note better. So I guess that's one little tip, is that you don't want to stack things in the lower registers of your piano roll. So we'll do fine with throwing a bass note every quarter note. So let's start here. Okay, 4. That should be pretty straightforward, pretty easy to work with. All right, this will always work. Up 7, 2, 4, 6, 7. Seven is a perfect 5th. Everybody's happy. Then let's go a little bit higher. That's a little happy. Let's tone it down. Another thing that when you're taking a group of chords and you just want to try to add one voice across the board, this'll work, but you'll have to listen and use your ear to make sure that there's no sour notes that didn't translate well because it was like a third, and hey, what do you know? It's not magically going to sound good on every chord. So use your ears, use some common sense. Don't let a shitty chord slip through. Now this might just work. It might not. This might be the trick that I'm trying to show you here. Let's listen first. Okay, that's the direction that we're heading. One thing that I've noticed with, I guess we'll call it the Audien thing. So the Audien sound is basically just taking any note and throwing another one a step above it. That's what I found. That's like the easy trick. That's the easy thing to figure out. I think it's that he includes a perfect 4th or an octave above. That's the music theory side of it. But really, if you just try taking a note and going 2 above or 2 below, things will start to magically sound a little bit spacier all around. I don't like this one. Let's do that. Okay, and then this last one needs a little bit of help, I think. There we go. Done. How long did that take? And let's just try taking this note right here and copy it an octave above. See if that did anything. God, money. That's all there is to it. So it's trying to make a basic chord progression that would normally sound kind of dull, major, minor, minor, major, or whatever, but then trying to experiment around and get whole steps included in the picture. And that's it. That's the easiest trick in the book. So you can see really quickly this chord progression stands out as a little bit nicer to put pads on top of to make some interesting things happen. Recording a guitar part. Now check this out. Okay, so check it out. Now that I have this chord progression that sounds like not super standard and just works a little bit nicer and has a little bit more, I'm going to use this term, emotional bite to it. Watch how easy it is to throw another part on top of it. I'm just going to go with that. Let's see what happens. And record. Okay, there's the right side, and let's try the left side. Something up here. That'll do. So when I'm writing a guitar part, by the way, I'll just kind of like mess around and loop record, or at least just keep it on loop while I figure something out. And then when I do, huzzah. There we go. And I just want, I think, that, and we're good. And this is how easy it is to just make a track. Just grab these. This is as easy as it gets. Okay, so that's like a little bit about the creative process surrounding the Audien chord trick, the Audien feel. The reason that you want to get really nice chords that have a lot of emotional content in them is that everything else falls right into place so easily afterwards. You could literally, I could just like pluck some palm muted guitar notes, find one that sounds good throughout every chord, and it would suddenly be like, oh my God, whoa, that sounds cool. when really, like, this is doing all the heavy lifting right here. So, the Audien chord trick, if boiled down to a single thing, is just try to take a single voicing across several chords, and I would say avoid the lower registers for this trick. And you want to be able to look and see one whole step apart from several of your voices. That's it. Your standard... There we go. Your standard major minor chord is going to have that fifth right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, this is going to be a mess. There it is. And let's just move it up higher so we don't have to look at... Oh, this is going to be painful. Your standard major minor is going to have that fifth, and then on top of that, you want to add your third in. And it's going to be pretty much right in between. Either it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 semitones for a major, or 1, 2, 3 for a minor. So we have the 1, 3, 5. That should be pretty basic music theory. And then once you get your 1, 3, 5s down, move things into different octaves, and make sure that when you look, just kind of scope out how your chord progression is looking on a MIDI standpoint. You have these groupings, 1 or 2 in each batch, in each chord, that are just one whole step apart. That's the Audien trick, and it works pretty well. One more time. Okay, there's the Audien trick.